Justin, welcome to Podcastina.
Thanks for having me. What a fascinating spot. You have a mascot here. This is great.
I do. Mr. Monty, I know you're typically not a fan of small dogs, but
Full
he's the exception.
Yep.
He's a good boy.
How are we doing?
We're hanging in there.
Yeah. Your deck is covered in ash, so you were right. You had a good view.
Yeah.
An entertaining week.
Oh, that's right. Entertaining couple of weeks. I mean, things are still burning as we speak.
That's true. I left. My power went out immediately, and so I left. I'll face a fire. I don't give a shit. I will not. I will not face in a night alone with a single candle in my thoughts. Absolutely not. So I left under the cover of night and went to San Diego to stay at my mom's. I had to house sit for her like 2 days later anyway. So just like, I'm coming down. But yeah.
Was she worried about you?
Yeah. I mean, she was. So I was just like, all right, I'll come down. But like, you don't realize, like, I'm like, I'm a single guy. I was like, I have a candle that was going down, which was strictly for when I had girls over.
Your emergency
and it was like
candle.
at the bottom. So like that wasn't going to work. And I was just like, my neighbors like they've been in our building for 30 years. So they just like decorate the outside. Like they don't have sex. So like the husband's, all his energy just goes to like gardening and making our place nice. But they had like electric candles out there. I just took them all. I was just like, I took them off all the little decorations he had. But yeah. And then I was like, no.
You know, it sounds resourceful though.
Yeah. No, I've learned how to be poor pretty well over the last decade.
Pro tips?
Adderall curbs the appetite. So can't recommend that enough. And other than that, just set the bar lower. You hear something?
Would you be offended if I told you what some of my candles cost?
No, I mean, I've seen it's atrocious. It is the only I was like a candle, like I got into the candle game. I was like, candles, okay.
Did?
I get briefly. Then I saw the prices and I was like, candles can go suck my whole dick. It's insane. Target's the only place where I was like, this is acceptable. MK bought my mom a candle for like last year she was up and it was like $40 or $50 from like some little boutique next to our place. Like I was like,
that's normal.
I don't spend that on her. Get her a cart.
Yeah. But the thing about those candles, I'm going to defend those candles for a second. They have a much longer burn time.
Uh-huh.
And they are more potent. They have what's called, because I got into candles for a second and I learned.
Of course you did.
That the scents are, I feel so judged. But it's called the throw.
As you sit with your acrylics and your Pomeranian.
These are my real nails. These are my real nails. I have never had acrylics in my entire life. These are mine. I do powder now. So ladies, that's what lasts so long and makes them so
that means.
Strong. It's just they dip. It's called dip. So you go. Listen, I'm teaching you about this.
I will hang myself with this cord.
Yeah, you put your nails into a little thing of powder, and then they top it off with gel, and then it stays longer.
Okay.
But back to the candles. I used to live next to a store called Candle Delirium in West Hollywood. And they had candles that were like up to $100-$200, some of them. And I've spent $60 on a candle thrice. But it brings me joy.
First of all, let's just say 3 times. Fucking you extra
But I'm a
bitch.
wordsmith.
Sure you are.
Yeah, I started taking creatine, so I'm sharper now.
Yeah, candles, but I like Target is like the only place. 10 to 50, I was like, okay.
That's acceptable.
Yeah.
It's still good.
I'll
What
do that.
scents do you like?
Nothing sweet.
Okay.
Don't do
Not
sweet.
a gourmand man?
I don't even know what that means.
It means edible scents.
Oh, yeah. No, just give me anything fruity or, they have those like, it's ocean something. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
I go for
like a hair on this mic.
I go for blues and greens. I get my candles based off color.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, that looks like it's going to smell good.
Those are probably clean scents then. You like a clean laundry smell or what?
Yep. If they had fuck it, give me a Febreze candle. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. I mean, they can be good. What about, are you a cologne guy?
It's during various times of my life. Right now we're back on, but strictly because someone gave me good cologne and it was free, and I was like, oh, okay.
What cologne was it?
I can't even tell you. I have no idea.
Oh, you're that removed from it?
Yeah.
What does the bottle look like? Maybe I know what it is.
It's just like deep, dark burgundy, like every cologne, male cologne. I don't know. Kyle gave it to me. Okay.
And it's probably very nice.
Yeah, it's just some of his swag. And I helped him move a table because he threw his back out because he's old.
Oh, well, we're old
and
too.
He knew I was fucking probably not doing anything in my home. So he called me and I moved. But yeah.
Do you like perfume on women?
There is one, I don't know what it is. Oh, an ex's sister was wearing it and I made her tell me, but I hate it. Oh. Like, I like typically perfume, I don't mind unless it's like wearing what my grandma wore or like what my mom wears or wore. Like, I'm like, your options are to either change it or we can part ways and I have no hard feelings.
No,
but I'm not doing.
I get that.
Scent of smell is huge. Like it's so big. All it does is open every refractor in your brain. It's like all I'm just doing is seeing my grandmother. I'm just like, fucking no, Patricia, get me out of here.
Yeah, that's true. You can't have a smell.
But I don't like. I like it. Like I like just like girls like guys scent on their pillow. The next, like it's nice to have that on the pillow. But like there is one, and I can't. It was bougie. It wasn't Chanel.
Can you describe the scent?
No, like, I don't know, but it gets caught in the back of my throat and it almost smells like shitty version of laundry. Like, I don't know, but I cannot stand it.
I wonder if it was
but everything else
Dolce & Gabbana light blue, because that kind of smells like laundry.
Yeah, I don't care for it. But yeah, I like it typically, perfume, but there's a few. Like, there's a right answer to it. And it's not what the women in my life who raised me wore.
Yeah, they probably wore really powdery scents, I would bet, because that's kind of like a older lady, grandma thing is to wear something powdery.
They all eventually drift to the same scent.
Yeah.
Like I was just back.
It's always Chanel No. 5.
Yeah, I was just like helping my mom move some shows down at her place, and I didn't tell her this because she would have fucking thrown a fit. But she's wearing what her mom, like, I'm like, you smell like Nana. I'm like, this is... But they, it all ends there eventually, smelling like an old lady.
I had an ex-boyfriend in high school who wore Abercrombie Fierce. And to this day, I can't walk by an Abercrombie at the mall without having that recollection come up, because that smell is still like the signature store smell, and it permeates down like 3-4 stores.
I remember the Abercrombie smell. My dad was huge into cologne, and Sean would wear it. He always had different ones, but like, the only time like I wore it, like he got Diddy's cologne once, like Sean John, I don't know what, and he was like, this is weird, but it does smell really good. And I smelled it and I was like, this does smell great. And I wore that, so not anymore. Now this is I rape little girls Diddy, I think. But yeah, I wore that like, I don't know, early college. But I haven't worn anything since. I just remained clean.
I wonder if the Diddy cologne had baby oil in it, knowing what we know now.
I don't know. I didn't feel oily.
Yeah. Well, that's for the best.
The scent is just baby oil. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
Just
good marketing.
It's just cocoa butter and Johnson & Johnson's baby oil. But yeah, now that we've talked about perfume and nails.
I feel like you're looking around my apartment looking for things to critique.
I mean, it's been critiqued, hon.
It's a lovely place.
Shells behind me. Yeah. Been here 2 years. I helped you move out of your last place.
That's right. Couple places ago. In the West Hollywood.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Still enjoying the TV microwave? Or no.
What did you give me?
Dining room table?
I still have the table. Like, I think I got rid of the chairs, but I just use it as like my living room desk. So my place gets no natural light, so I follow it during the day.
None at all. Oh no.
No, it's bad. Your AC unit is crucial.
Oh, good.
That gets installed in my room.
I got in trouble over that AC unit at that apartment.
Why?
That was one of the things that I fought with that landlord about. He tried to use it to get back at me for reporting him to the city for running illegal Airbnbs out of the building.
So he tried to get on you about your AC unit?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
because I hadn't had one prior to that year, but it was so hot that summer and all of my neighbors had one. And he tried to say it was an unauthorized install, even though I had went to him and asked him about installing it.
Of course, you fucking you narked on him. Like, of course, I would have made your life hell. Are you kidding me?
He deserved to be narked
I'm sure.
on. He
I'm
did.
sure. But like, you know, narc and be like, hey, by the way, I'm going to start doing this thing now. I'm like, no, you're not. No, you're not.
He didn't know for sure. Well, I guess he could have surmised that it was me who narked on him because I was complaining all the time. He had Airbnb people in there, and the Airbnb shared a wall with the wall that my bed was against, and I would get woken up at least once a week at 3 a.m. by just crazy screaming and partying and stuff. And I was like, you can't just run an Airbnb in a city where it's illegal, and then I'm going to lose sleep, and you're going to benefit, and I'm going to get nothing out of it. Not to mention a laundry list of other illegal.
Didn't Airbnb recently come down and was like, hey, no sex parties. Would you stop this?
Yeah, but this was 2021. He also was investigated by the FBI for Section 8 fraud, and he also used to dump sewage just into the street. I mean, he did so many illegal things.
Sure.
I ended up getting in contact with one of the city advocates, like one of the lawyers that represented tenants for West Hollywood. And when I called her and I gave her the rundown before I even gave his name, she's like, is it this guy? And I'm like, yeah, how do you know? And she goes, oh, I've been fighting him for 20 years.
How many buildings did he own?
A few.
Okay.
Like a handful. I mean, just textbook, like Russian crook.
Sure. I've lucked out. Like I love me a private owned complex. Just like the one I'm in now, like, and I've lucked out. They've all been fine. They've all have like the one old Mexican guy handyman. This one's named Esteban.
Of course.
He is a pug. He's a pug of a man.
Protect him at all costs now that ICE raids are happening.
Yeah, he's got to be 4'11", and like he gets shit done, but it takes him forever. But like during the summer, like he was out there working, it was like so hot, and no one was giving him water.
What?
So I was just like, man, do you want some water? And he was just like, yeah. Oh. I'm like, okay, dude, just like I'll give you. I was the only guy who gave him water, so everyone complains about him that he doesn't get shit. I was like, Esteban gets shit done for me immediately. He does anything. He's installed your AC. It took him like 3 hours, but he figured it out.
Yeah, that's your boy.
But yeah, like the guy who owns our place, like it was mommy's. Mommy died. Now it's the brother and sister, and Dan is the brother, but Dan's got a band, man.
Oh, that's his priority.
I'm in Long Beach on a gig, dude. I can't come up. And I'm like, and it's great. Like he doesn't give a shit. Like as long as I pay relatively on time. And like he didn't come pick up my lease agreement for a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you just were sliding under the radar?
I mean, I signed everything. I paid him by rent, but yeah, he was just like, he doesn't let it, like you have to get like, it's a small place, and I think he's gotten dicked over by ex-tenants. So now it's like you have to get recommended by someone in there. And Simon and MK were living in there. So
yeah, I don't know if I can do after the traumatic event that I had at the West Hollywood apartment.
Yeah.
I don't want to do small privately owned anymore.
Yeah, this one's also rent controlled, I think. Yes.
Yeah, the rent control is huge. Mine is not rent controlled, but at the same time.
Which is what I worry about.
Yeah, it's not great, but we were able to negotiate them down because we had all these like water shortages.
Sure.
Water outage, not shortages, outages.
Yeah.
And so we were able to get them down, but I don't know. I like that it's a big company and that they have to do things by the book. Otherwise,
yeah. Oh, yeah. Don't get me wrong. My place is janky as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Like the city came in a couple weeks ago and was like, "Hey, we're shutting your gas down," and everyone's like, "Huh?" They're like, "The city flies drones over, infrared drones over to see if there's been." They'll get a reading of a place like, okay, you're using a lot more gas than it's typically normal, so they'll send a drone over with infrared, and it's just spewing out of our laundry room.
Oh no!
And they're like, "Yeah, this is wild." And so they had to shut it down. And they're like, yeah, if you were like in that laundry room and you closed the door and you were in there for 10 minutes, you would have died.
Whoa.
And I was like, sweet, dude. Yeah. So, you just deal with things like that. But, this is the times we live in.
One of my favorite incidents from my old apartment was we had a water leak in the bathroom, in the wall behind the toilet. And you could tell because the paint started bubbling and it just kept getting worse like by the hour. I mean, there was no way
Sure.
it wasn't a water leak. And I called him and I'm like, hey, water leak behind the toilet. I'm not a plumber, but it's pretty obvious. The paint is cracking. And he goes, listen, if you want to see cracked paint, you're going to find cracked paint. He made it like a philosophical issue.
Life is cracked paint. But yeah, like I'm also, this place is like golden handcuffs. Like I can't, I couldn't afford to live. I have to go to Chatsworth. Get into porn.
Why you gotta shit on Chatsworth like that?
That's how deep I'd have to go. Like no one lives in Chatsworth because shit's going well. Like fucking divorced dads live there for their first apartment after the divorce.
No, they live here
the
in Marina.
Studio. Sure.
The ones that are well off live here in Marina.
The ones that didn't get taken for everything.
Yeah.
But
these ones live on their boats.
Yeah, I could. Boat life seems awesome.
I made a boat friend today. Actually.
Did you?
Yeah, I've been
and
wanting.
You live on the marina.
I know, and it's taken me a year to make a boat friend, and I finally did it.
Look at you.
Yeah.
The creepy old single guy? What's the...
Probably.
I mean, you don't know?
No ring and guy and older, so yes.
Yeah, 100%. Yes, typical boat guy. Yeah.
But he was like, text me anytime to come on the boat.
Of course yes. Of course yeah.
But that was one of my goals. I've been asked my roommate. I've been saying the whole time, like, we need boat
Finally
friends.
met a creepy old man in Los Angeles.
That's right. It took me way too long, which makes me feel like I'm going downhill. That this should have happened for me earlier. It's kind of telling me what's up with me and how I can't buy Botox because all my money is going to rent here.
Sure. I mean, I was on a date like a couple days ago, and they didn't card me, and they carded her, and I was like, this is upsetting. Like, I get it as soon as I went salt, but like, I get it, but like, I mean, just ask every now and then.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you're not, salt and pepper is pretty much, sometimes I go say, do you want to see it? And they're like, no. I'm like, will you please look at it?
I feel that way too, but I can't say anything because then I'm going to be that quintessential woman who's sad about her aging.
Yeah. I could just be the weird guy who's like, just tell me I look young, dude. Just come on.
You would never dye your hair though.
No. As long as it stays in, it can go whatever fucking color it wants. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
We just have an agreement that if it goes...
Your hair is staying really well. Your hairline hasn't budged.
I have to talk to my hair. I was like, if you go, we're going entirely. So if you enjoy existing, fucking stay.
I didn't realize. I mean, of course I understand.
Get by on my personality.
You're a ray of
this
sunshine.
hair does a lot of heavy lifting.
I didn't realize how much men obsess over other men's hairlines until I was talking to our mutual friend, Michael Burnett.
Well, Michael obsesses to an extent that is ever since I've known him.
Does he? But I feel like a lot of men do. But I sent Michael, I sent him the Instagram of a guy I have a crush on. And the first thing he said was, wow, what a great hairline.
Yeah, no, dude, Michael says some gay shit. Like he'll like say things where I'm like, wait, that's the first thing that came to your head about? But yeah, hair is big for him because he's always been afraid he's losing it. He's taking Propecia. I'll fucking put him on blast. I don't give a shit.
It's hanging in there.
His hair's hanging in there.
Yeah.
You could land a 747 on his forehead. But yeah. He's self-conscious about that.
I love talking to him about boys, though, because he and I will just...
he loves talking about boys, too.
We love it so much. He and I bond over how much we're both obsessed with Henry Cavill.
Is that how you say his last name?
Mm-hmm. Easily the hottest man on earth. Who do you think is the hottest man on earth? No homo.
I think my ex liked him. I mean, I get like, it's just, liking Henry Cavill is just like, I mean, it's like, and then I'd be like Pamela Anderson, which I for sure was. But it's just like, yeah, he's 6'3", ripped as shit.
British.
It just looks, accent. I mean, it's just like, all right, hack, but sure. Fucking, I don't know. I don't.
When I discovered him, I was just fucking dumbfounded. I didn't know he existed.
Well, he was almost Bond before Craig.
Yeah, he should.
Craig beat him out. Yeah.
No.
He was like 20 when he was going for it.
Then that's too young. I didn't discover him until the Mission Impossible that he was in.
So where he pumped his fucking Jesus. He had the weird mustache that was like, because he like, or like it was in Superman,
hot,
but it was like he had the mustache, but like in Superman, because one of the Supermans they had to digitally, it was like a big thing.
That's
because
right.
Either Mission Impossible won't let him shave it, so it's like a bizarre.
This is such a me story, though. I wanted to see the Fast and Furious spinoff about the one with just The Rock.
Okay.
It's called Hobbs and Shaw. That's
Okay.
what it was. It was Hobbs and Shaw. And I wanted to see it, and so I dragged comedian Ken Gar to go see it with me.
Okay.
And he was like, I'll see that with you if you go see Mission Impossible with me.
Okay.
And so he took me to see Mission Impossible, and Henry Cavill comes on the screen, and I was like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah, he was Superman before that. You didn't know?
Yeah, but I hadn't seen Superman. I'm not like a big comics.
I mean, I hadn't
person.
seen it either, but like, you see the trailers, you see the, like, you're
I
like,
somehow didn't. I don't know
Yeah.
how. I mean, he's everybody's type, but he's also so quintessentially my type.
sure, he was also in like a Man Called Uncle or something like that.
I ended up seeing it later. I ended up
I feel
going
like
on,
you went
a
through
deep-
his
I
back,
sure
through
did.
his whole filmography.
Yeah, I did.
You
I had a lot of time on my hands.
horny old woman.
I am chronically single, so
Hey,
girls gotta
welcome
keep
to the
busy.
club, lady. But yeah, I still think Pamela Anderson's age. She was my crush when I was in the 90s.
She still looks amazing.
still got it.
I just saw her in person a month ago,
Where?
Beverly Hills. I was at Ferrari.
Oh,
I was
okay.
on a lunch break.
Yeah.
And she was like right behind me on the sidewalk, and I didn't want to stare. I didn't want to be rude. I always try to treat celebrity sightings like I don't want to make
Yeah.
anyone feel uncomfortable. So
I don't give a shit about celebrities. Her would be tough to
Yeah.
not do. I'd be like, I don't know how to.
And she's so cool. Like she's
Yeah.
just so fucking cool. I love her.
Yeah.
That was a good one. That was the first one in a while where I felt the impulse to text people and tell them that it had just
I would have.
happened.
Yeah, I would have been geeking out. My mom was just so weird. Tells you too much about my family. My mom saved the Baywatch edition Playboy from like 97 or something. Like she saved it for me.
Oh, that is weird.
She hid it, and I found it in
Till
her
you were
in
13
her
or
closet.
what?
Yeah, she was gonna like when I was I found it when I was like 12 or 13. I took it to school. Like I
Oh,
snuck it out
no.
and I took it to junior high. I was so popular that day, and then the bus from junior high was our bus driver. She was cool, but we would get up to some fucking. She only kicked us off twice. One time we were trying to make like one of those crack lighters. You take the lighter, Bic lighter, and you can like play with and it will like shoot. It'll just
We used to do that too.
And we blew it up. And so she pulled it. She was like, "Get the fuck out." And we're like 4 miles away from. She's like, "I don't give a shit." And so we fucking.
I'm
And
on
then,
her side with that.
yeah, I mean, I understand. And then the other time we were every guy on the bus. She just looked in the rear view and it was all the girls still sitting in their seats and every guy at the back of the bus huddled around. And she's like, "The fuck you doing back here?" And she saw it. She's like, "Get out."
Yeah, I got to side with her on that one.
Yeah, that's fair.
Bus driving, I mean, I can't think of a harder job because driving a bus is impossible and
Yeah.
being with kids is impossible.
Yeah, there isn't an easy, like if your job, bus driving, I mean, you're either doing kids, tourists, or public transit.
But kids, I think, is the worst one because you're the most liable.
I don't know. Yeah, but like you can scare kids.
Oh,
Like-
yeah.
I took pup bus in Seattle like a lot. I've seen some shit.
What's the worst thing you saw?
Guns. The crazy guy pulled a gun. We're like, "Just get out, man." He's like, "Rah, rah, rah," and just like stumbled out. Dicks. Seen pulling out dicks all the time. But it's just like crazy. I mean, it's just like the crazy homeless get on and they're like, "I'm not paying." Like, you get it. So it's like, all right, fine. Just stand there.
They can't.
Yeah.
I had an experience. It was right when I first got to LA. I didn't have my car. I didn't know if I was moving here initially.
Sure.
I just kind of came here experimentally and got a one-way ticket. And Uber was not a thing yet. And so I got on a bus to go to a job interview. And on the ride back from the job interview, there was a homeless man on the bus and he was moaning and foaming at the mouth, like really,
Yeah.
really foaming at the mouth. And I just stepped off a flight from Ohio, like didn't really grow
Sure.
up with homeless people. It was not a thing for me. And he was just moaning and nobody was doing anything except maybe one person I think was like, "Shut up." And I got off the bus a stop early because I just couldn't take it anymore. And I have not been back on one. I can't. I was like, "Mom, ship my car."
Tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, it's not even that bad.
You see some fun shit. In Seattle, there was a dog that, it made the news, but there was a dog that knew the bus route to go to the park.
Nuh-uh.
So it would take itself, so like his owner like was either late from getting home from work or something. He's like, I fucking want to go to the park. And so he just opened his door, let himself out, and like got on, because they would take the bus to the park. So he got on the bus by himself, and and then he just did it all the time. It was like a black lab, like at the city. It was like the city's dog. Like we loved the dog.
That's the best.
He passed away a couple years ago, but like, yeah, he would just take himself to the park, and he would just go, and then he would hang out, and then when he was done, he'd get back on the bus.
Yeah, I can't even ask a question about bus fare with that, because it's like, who cares? It's a dog. That's probably the best thing that happened to everybody on the bus that day.
Yeah.
Monty could never.
No. He couldn't make it up the steps.
No, he really can't. He can do steps, but he can't jump on the bed.
You have to lower the wheelchair access for the fucking dog.
But the fact that the dog knew what stop was the park, or did someone go, "Hey, buddy"?
No, he knew.
He knew.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Immediately, because I guess the owner and him would take the bus to the park. Oh, so he just was like, "Oh, you're not here. I'm going." And so then he just kept doing it.
This is why every mayor should be a dog. I know some towns did it.
It depends on the dog.
Could Monty do it?
No. It would be ramp access everywhere.
You know what he does? So since he won't jump on or off the bed, we have a little morning routine where I swing my legs over the side of the bed.
You don't have one of those little dog ramps that go onto the bed.
Okay, so I tried with that. I had little stairs.
I was going to say.
I tried to teach him to go up and down the stairs, and he kind of wasn't doing it. And I'm not very diligent with trying to train him on something if it's hard.
Single dog moms you guys are useless.
I know, we really are. And it's fine. I take accountability. That's why I have a small, harmless dog.
Just brats.
That's why I don't get a Cane Corso, because I know I'm too lazy to really train it the way it's supposed to be trained.
Yeah, I take my mom's dog off leash, and she's dumbfounded. She's like, how? I'm like, because he knows if he fucks up, it's not going to be, no. It's going to be, the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. Oh, look. Monty's like, huh?
Yeah, sit.
But anyway, our little morning routine is that I swing my legs over the bed, and then he sits in my lap and patiently waits for me to set him down. And it's the cutest thing ever. It's my favorite part of the day. He gets his little good morning kisses.
Yep. Very dependent, aren't you?
Yeah, he could never survive in the wild.
I know. That's why you guys have those. It's like, I just love it because like when I leave and he's like barking like he's going to die, like I just love, like he needs me.
He doesn't have, I mean, he probably has some level of separation anxiety, but he doesn't really bark when I leave. That's not a thing.
Oh, you have a roommate?
I do. And he's friends with the cat.
Yeah. Yeah, it helps for sure.
Most Pomeranians, not most, but a lot of Pomeranians are like two-pom households because they love companionship. So
very rarely do I see one of these.
Yeah, I do need another one. But it's so much maintenance. Okay. It's so much maintenance with the fur.
Yeah.
Would you get a dog?
Just talked to my psychiatrist today about one.
Yeah? What's the verdict?
He's like, I'll write you a letter.
Oh, no kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. But you want a big dog. What kind?
We had a wolf dog growing up. She was tough. We had like a half Malamute, half wolf. That would be cool, but I can't.
How did you even get your hands on one of those?
Long story. But like long story. But she was a trip. Akina. But that would be cool, but I can't have that. Would be too much.
You can't have a dog like that in an apartment.
No, you can't have it. We had an acre and with the 6-foot fence, she flat-footed it. She would hop it.
Wow.
Yeah, with a shock collar on full blast. Yeah. So she would just hang.
But that's a wolf. That's not a dog.
She would just hang back there to appease us.
Mm-hmm. What did she eat?
She ate, she ate everything. When we were living in Santa Barbara, we had this, the neighbor behind us was a lawyer and he had chickens. She ate a lot of his chickens. And finally he was like, you understand I'm a lawyer, right? My mom was like, because my mom's a bitch. So she's like, yeah, the dog, it's a dog. It's going to do dog things.
It's like, not a dog, it's a wolf.
Eating my chickens and I'm not suing you, but I'm going to. And then it ate the neighbor's Maltese. When I was walking it, she saw the Maltese and she booked and I couldn't. Like I was parallel in midair holding the leash.
That's horrible.
Like the dog lived, but like the parents paid like $4,000.
Oh, that's so traumatic for me to hear as like a small dog owner.
Yeah.
I get really nervous around unleashed.
So every
big
now and then
dogs.
she would go nuts like that.
What did she look like? Did she have wolf eyes?
Yeah, she had wolf eyes. She was big.
Did she howl?
She looked like, oh yeah. And she looked like, she was bigger than a Malamute, and thinner and muscular. She was just a beast.
I always have a hard time reconciling when I see a big dog and then Monty, and then I'm like, how are you guys the same species?
Sure, for sure.
This is a stuffed animal, essentially.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It squeaks. Akina got out once and like I had baseball practice and we couldn't get her back in. My mom was like, fuck it, let's go. We'll just outrun her. And we lived like at the bottom of like this goat trail hill that had like a 60% grade. And we like floored, and we had a radar gun for pitching. And she was like, we clocked her at like 48 or 50 miles an hour and she's licking the bumper. I was like, fuck, dude.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
But I would get, if I couldn't, I'm for sure doing puppy mill. Fuck this. Like all of our dogs have been fines or pounds but it's stupid now in this town. Is like the hoops you have to jump through to get a dog that went to war. And
It's true.
they're like, no, I'm not doing that. And with all these ticks and it's just like, and it's not the dog, it's just what's there. Like, no, I'm going to go get exactly what I want for half
Straight
the
from the
price
source,
and
right?
jump through half the hoops.
I know. It got really competitive, even with getting Monty. So this was like, it's still difficult, even though the timing of me getting him was particularly difficult because it was still peak pandemic. And remember, there was like a run on dogs.
Sure.
Everybody
Yeah.
wanted a dog then. I had applied for 8 dogs from
Yeah,
rescues, all 8.
Yeah.
6 of them didn't bother getting back to me. 2 of them got back to me to tell me that those dogs were no longer available. And so I ended up getting him off of Craigslist. But the way that I look at it is I just was the step in between him ending up at a rescue.
Sure. Like it's dumb. I would never, at this point. I think the last dog the golden that we had that he passed like a year, we got him, but my mom like found him and then like took him to the Humane Society and they were like, we'll search for his owner. She's like, if you don't find him, I want him. And then they're like, we have to have him for 24 hours. There's some weird things. You can come back and get him in the morning. She went back in the morning and like the Golden Retriever Society had come in and gotten him.
What?
Yeah. For the LA Gold, like there's a fucking cult, like their own thing. And they're like, they came and got him. And my mom was like, fuck no. And like went to them. They're like, we're not going to give him. She's like, you are going to give, I'm going to sue. She was like, I'll lawyer up. Like, give me the fucking dog. I found the dog. And she like lit the place on fire. And they just, here's the dog. Go away.
I can't blame her.
Yeah. I mean, it was wild. So it's like, yeah, it's like the pounds are like mafia in this town. So like, there's just different, there's husky ones that are like in Long Beach. It's like yeah. So it's just like, dog I had growing up, we got from the Santa Barbara pound. She was just a puppy and she was out in a cage. And it's like, yeah, I want that one.
Yeah. It used to be, I mean, there should be a barrier to entry a little bit because you can't have completely irresponsible people getting dogs. But it's difficult for perfectly responsible pet owners that I know to be able to get a dog through those avenues.
But I have a joke about this because you could just have a kid.
Right.
But there should be barriers to entry. It should be at least as hard to have a kid as it is to adopt a dog.
That's a really good
point. And I'm
point.
like, I tried to adopt a dog last month. I don't have a dog this month. Do you understand? Like it was reams of paperwork, an application process, a background check, proof of employment. A woman had to come to my apartment. A cunt, this bitch. She like literally stepped in my apartment. She's like, oh, 1 bedroom. I'm like, the fucking dog's got 3 legs. You dumb it. Give it to me. What are we doing?
Yeah. It's so true. It's really, really
fucking
hard.
The audacity.
I know. There is a Pomeranian rescue down in Orange County too. So there are all these specific, you can always find a breed specific rescue, but yeah, it doesn't mean it's going to be any easier to get one there. And if you just go to a reputable breeder, then you're just going to the source. Because I think with the way that it is with a breeder, they're not even putting in as many hurdles to get a dog from a breeder. They're just charging what they're charging. They're not running background checks, I don't think.
No,
I mean,
not really.
People can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's just as dangerous as a dog going anywhere else.
Sure. Yeah. So I would like a Bernie, or if I could find like a golden mix of some kind, not a golden doodle. Fucking
yeah. Doodles have behavioral problems.
Sure. And no one who's ever, there's not a single person who's ever bought a doodle who's a person that I would want to spend 10 consecutive seconds next to. You bought a doodle, you useless twat because it's
trendy.
Yes, it's like you bought a handbag.
And
like,
they're hypoallergenic, so that's like a big thing with people.
And it's like if they don't get an animal, if you need to have it like, or toughen up. Like the amount of people like I know, like if you just have a dog or a cat, like if you sneeze constantly, like if your friend has it, the hair on their sweatshirt from coming over, it gets you. Yeah, probably stay away. But like everyone I know who's had allergies, they're like, yeah, I got the dog anyway or the cat anyway. And like after a month, I was fine.
Yeah, I mean, I always thought that I had a really bad cat allergy, and now I live with one, and I'm fine.
Yeah. But
are you going to be a dog park dad?
I mean, it would get me out of the house. Like, yeah, the dog has to go outside. It should be. Right now, I'm just taking myself for walks.
I'm avoiding walks right now with the air quality, and I'm so sad because everything I like to do, all of my...
This is not a walkable part of town.
This is such a walkable part of
town.
What are you talking about?
I'm not walking off Lincoln.
No, not that way. But behind me, I don't want to give away where I live, but behind me, there's very easy access to the marina, and I walk around the marina all the time.
Yeah, okay.
It's so easy. It's like the loop that I do is 7,000 steps, and it's serene, and it's super walkable, and there's no traffic, and it's beautiful. It's just boats.
Yeah, I live, the back side of Griffith, so like, which is all nice. I see Christopher Nolan 3 times a week. Saw him this morning. So
I don't know what he looks like. I wouldn't even recognize
him. If you saw him in a lineup, you'd be like, that's gotta be him.
Oh,
it's just like scarves and fucking swooping blonde hair. You're like, all right, dude. Nice guy. Like we're on a begrudging wave basis because we see each other so much. We haven't integrated. Yeah. He like finally was like, oh, fuck, all right, hi. I'm like, all right.
Do you go on hot girl walks too?
Do I take girls on walks?
No, hot girl walks.
Where I just walk around?
That's just walks, yeah.
Occasionally when I'm like, I need to get some sun or I'm losing my mind or... but like, typically I'll just go for a run.
Is that what you do? What do you do to soothe your nervous system?
I just stare into the abyss. Scream into the void.
The most
Xanax.
new answer.
I just I just have my mom's drug regime, which is just like Adderall to wake you up, Xanax to calm you down. And then so like I just saw like today I had an appointment with a psychiatrist as the first appointment. And he was just like, okay, yeah, so Adderall and Xanax. So it's kind of a rule with us that we don't do an upper and a downer. I'm like, well, let me tell you something. Pam Clark, PhD, says it's fine. And if you take my Xanax from me, I'll burn you down. But I was like, I don't take it a lot. It's like a break glass if. Sure. And so like there's times where I'm like, I'm not coping and I'm just pissed or or I know that the depressive thoughts and I'm not going to get to sleep and I just want to go to bed. So like I had like having that, but so that's what I told him. And he's like, okay, well, when you're done with this, I'm not going to prescribe you more. I'm like, okay, then I'm going to go to my family doctor and I'm going to have him give it to me again.
I get that. I will occasionally get a hold of, it's much more rare now than it was when I was young. I could not get my degree without Adderall. Like it should be on my diploma, just right next to my name. Well, now
they made everything a controlled substance, so now it's like impossible to get unless you have like a history of having it.
It was so easy in college though, and I was such a just manipulative queen where I knew how to go in. I went to the college psychiatrist. And I skewed the way that I answered the tests in a way that I knew I would get diagnosed. So it was super easy. It was like 6 weeks of testing and then bam, 30 milligrams of Vyvanse when I weighed 90 pounds, which is like
fucking Jesus.
Crazy. Yeah,
I would have my doctor give me 30 milligrams of instant release and I would I'd always
so much.
But I would never take it. It would just be like, because he was like near my parents, which was in California. I didn't. Dr. Tenenbaum. He was great, but I was like, I just want to see you, and I'm down every 6 months anyway, or 3 or 4 months at the end of the quarter. He's like, yeah, so let's just give you, instead of 15, I'll give you 30. It'll last you the whole time, and by the time you run out, you'll be down here anyway, and I'll do it again. But I've kept that ever since, because I would just take 15 and pay my rent with the other half.
Yeah.
And it was, the Universal Russian cheerleaders passed their classes because of me. Yeah. From 2006 to 2010.
I would share mine as well. And even with mine, because I knew I couldn't take 30.
They paid.
Yeah. Sure.
No, they didn't. No, I would get it.
What's the statute of limitations?
I was not a drug dealer by any means. I don't even know what Adderall is.
No, me neither. But I haven't taken it. I took some, I think, to snap me out of the funk of what's going on with the fires and everything, because I was just in freeze mode basically for the first couple of days. And the way I calm myself down is by getting shit done. So if I can't get shit done, it kind of exasperates that feeling of
Man, you seem like
awfulness.
a cool hang.
I mean, listen, you know I am. This is bullshit. But I needed to get stuff done, and I got a lot done.
Yeah.
But I only took like, I'm not kidding, probably 2 milligrams, because I have a 5 and I broke it down and just took like the teeny tiniest sliver, and it's just enough to get things done. And before that, I hadn't taken it in probably 6 months. I took it last time. Last time I took it, it was to teach myself how to use Premiere Pro.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean, I take it I'll take a 15 maybe 3 times a week.
Okay,
and
that's more regular.
Need that. But it's for sure if I'm having to edit some stupid thing I don't want to edit or teach myself some program I don't want to, like, yeah. But now I've been on it so long. Now it's mainly just amps my rage towards whatever I have to do. I just say, fuck, this is stupid, louder.
Yeah. And then I do weed for sleep.
Yeah. Gummies. I mean, I think we've talked about this. I have the weed habit of like a 68-year-old woman.
Oh, do you? We haven't talked about this.
I have my little gummies. I watch my programs. That's what I do. I don't fucking leave. Sit on my couch. I watch my programs. And then that's it.
Yeah. Wait, what are your programs?
It depends. It'll be, what have I watched recently? Slow Horses. Love Gary Oldman. I recommend. The Old Man. That was good. They canceled it. It was with Jeff Bridges and John Lithgow.
I watched one episode of it and it was so brutal, and I don't mind brutal, but for some reason it was too much for me.
The acting in it was just crazy good. Clarkson's Farm, Amazon.
I haven't heard of it.
You know Top Gear?
Yeah.
Jeremy Clarkson is his new, and it's like a cash cow for Amazon, and it costs him no money. Okay. So it's like he's just his rich person's farm in the Cotswolds that he bought and fucked off to, and it's just him pretending to be a farmer and just being a fuck up, and him hiring all these people that are good at farming and they're to tend to his land, and they're just constantly trying to avoid him because he'll want to help, and he just makes everything worse. It's hilarious.
That's so funny. Is it about cars at all?
No, I mean he's won a bunch of, like, I guess, agricultural awards for bringing light to, like, the problems that farmers face and yada yada yada.
I didn't know there were agricultural awards.
It's great.
It sounds really cool, and I feel like I'm in a bit of a drought with TV.
Dude, well, I've gotten my sister into it. I got MK into it. I'll get people once I have one. It is good. And then I'll watch a lot of reruns of Top Gear, old Top Gear.
Are you still doing any automotive writing?
Yeah. So I got a spec I'm working on now. I got 2 friends who work for Motor Trend, and one's Motor Trend, one's Road Track, and they're just like, they test it. They're like, just send us articles. Like, all right. Just like not doing it.
Yeah. Is there anything that you've come upon in car worlds that's been exciting lately? I feel like I hate the direction cars are going.
Oh yeah, no, I would never buy a new car. There's nothing. Like, one of the specs I'm working on is like what the sweet spot with cars was, like where it was still analog but had digital.
Yeah.
So it was like, I think it's like 2000, mid to late 2000s to like 2013 was like where you got the best of both worlds. Like, you could still option not getting a navigation system because it's just going to 3 years be comically outdated. And you could still get manuals, and like that, my sister's Jeep that I'm driving, there is a traction control button, and you just push it and the traction control rolls off, or you push it and it's back on.
But that's because it's a Jeep.
No, but you can't. The Jeeps don't do that anymore. You can't get that on any car. Like, it's electronically assisted, and they're like, all right, we'll take it off for 30. Like, if you push it off, it's still like, we're leaving 30% on. Yeah.
I didn't know that. I think
there's too many. There's all these nannies.
I thought Jeep specifically because it comes with kind of all the off-roading gear. Sure. So there's things in there.
I'm sure there's some, like the Wranglers you can still do, but like, I don't think the Cherokee, like, she's got a Grand Cherokee. The Grand Cherokees now, they're just kid movers. So like,
yeah, that's true. And not very reliable ones at that.
Yeah. Well, FCA or whatever, the company that owns Jeep now, they're going to go out of business.
I wonder if is there anything you can find manual anymore?
There's less than 2% of cars now. It's down to
In the States, at least.
the Supra, which is going to get discontinued
No,
this
not
year.
again.
Yeah, because it's built off the Z4 platform, and BMW's stopped doing that.
I didn't know that. That's so sad. I want an orange one so bad. I'm going to have to source one once I can find it.
I think you can. So the 2 Series, like the M2, I think still has a manual. I just read an article and it listed them all, and it was like
You
10.
never see M2s.
The like like the BRZ Toyota 86, which is the same car that I think a Miata and like high-end sports, a couple high-end sports cars, but that's like it.
Even the high-end sports cars, I guess I'm drawing a blank. I don't know. I mean, it's been forever.
Like Porsche tried to take it away, and then everyone flipped out, and they brought it back. But like no one still buys it. So it's just like, why are we doing this?
Yeah, that's true.
But Porsche still has them in a couple, but you can't get a turbo on a manual anymore. You can't. I think you can just get the 911. I don't think Aston doesn't do it anymore. Mercedes stopped in the 80s. Audi stopped like 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Ferrari stopped
I'm
in
trying to think what the last Ferrari
for
was.
2009.
Oh, dang.
Uh-huh.
The F430 was the last one?
Scagletti or whatever they had. The ugly fucking... God, Ferrari was ugly in those years.
Listen, there's been a couple, but I would argue that they've made the most beautiful cars of any other automaker.
Sure, for sure.
I get so...
And all the ones I said they were going to age phenomenally, and like, I wish I could have bought when they're at like the 575s, which you could get for like $60,000, $70,000, and gated manual. They're all going for $250,000 now.
At least.
And I'm just like, fucking...
You could... I'm trying to think. I saw a 575 recently, and it maybe was 90 or 120 or something like that. It must have had a lot of miles.
Probably wasn't a manual either.
Probably not.
Like even like if you're getting an old Porsche Turbo, or like a 2009, the difference, one with a manual will be $130,000. Without a manual will be 80.
Yeah.
Like people pay premium, and I would just I'll get the Triptonic, I'll rip it out, put a manual in.
That's an option. What do you think of all the luxury sports car SUVs that are...
I hate all of them.
All of them look bad to you?
Yeah, they're all...
I feel like the Bentley one looks good.
That's the ugliest fucking one.
Really?
Oh God.
I like it.
Gaudy.
Oh. Well,
You're Ukrainian, but there's a lot of Russian in you.
Oh, come on. I like the Purosangue. Don't be mad.
The what?
The Ferrari SUV.
Oh yeah, that looks like a Mazda CX-5.
Stop it. Not in person. I'll give you this. The photo renderings were hideous. I was
It looks fine, but it's just like...
I was apprehensive when I saw the photos. Then I saw it in person. It is really, really pretty in person.
If I was going to get an SUV, but that's the whole point. Like, why get a... You either get a Ferrari or
one
get...
that like really has
people wants to sit high.
Backseat
but like if I wanted... Sure, to get in it, like if I was going to get an SUV, I'd get an XC90. I'd get a Volvo. It's the best looking SUV, and it has been for like the last 5 years. But like, and if I wanted, like, you're not taking the kids to soccer practice in the Ferrari SUV.
Some of them are.
Sure. I mean, the ones who have a Ferrari SUV don't have them. And if they have kids, the nanny's doing everything. The Mexican lady's taking them everywhere. But yeah, like if I got an SUV, like the XC90, like that's the best looking one.
I had the XC90, or maybe it was a different. Is there like a worse?
There's a smaller one right below it.
Okay, maybe the smaller one I had as a rental car for a little bit when I was between cars, or was I traveling somewhere? Whatever. I had the rental, and it was kind of a piece of shit. Like the digital interface was constantly disconnecting, and I saw that was like an issue for them.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't been in a Volvo in forever. Now they look really great. I do like Volvo's like one of the few cars like, okay, I would buy new, which is hilarious because I would never buy a Volvo. Like they were hideous, but now they look pretty good.
Oh, he's so excited. I think I'm going to have my car for a long time because I don't like the new version of my car. And then it got bigger. Like the crazy thing about my SUV, and granted it's like a subcompact or compact SUV, I forget the classification, but it's shorter than a Honda Civic, but I can fit 2 8-foot surfboards inside if I put them diagonally.
Look at you. Yeah, I mean, like, I do think like the old, like the 90s two-door RAV4s and stuff are cool.
They are really cool.
Fucking little Barbie cars.
I
Like,
also
those are
really
awesome.
love, I don't like the new G-Wagon at all, but I like
No.
the old ones.
I do like, my friend, she's a stunt car driver. She has like, she's got a 911, she's got an Alpha, but she got a fucking G-Wagon. And she
What
was
year?
like, she told me like 2003, it's gold.
Okay.
And it's like, it is like,
It's probably really
within the
badass.
community, like people know like that's the good one. It's not it's not the stupid fucking AMG. It's G500. But I was just like, you're dead to me. You're fucking dead to me.
Do you know who's dead to me? Anyone that gets a Cybertruck.
Sure, anyone who gets a Tesla.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you're done. Like, fuck, it's Michael wanted one. Burnett he loves a Cybertruck.
No.
Oh, he loved it.
Oh, we're going to have a fight.
Yeah, that's all he would talk about.
I hate it so loudly
it's
that everyone
ridiculous.
sends me the Cybertruck memes.
It's
Everyone
absurd.
sends them to me. I will have
And it's the same type
one.
of person. Like
Yeah.
my mom's
Oh, yeah.
neighbor has one. Fucking, he's got to be my age. Has a house on the water, but it's like got daddy's company.
Mm-hmm.
He's never worked anywhere else. Fucking, he had this conversation with me when my mom was there. He had to help him move something, but he was like, "Yeah, the wife, she's selling a lot of the knickknacks and stuff off Facebook Marketplace or something like that. You know, it gives her something to do, and I let her keep the money." And I'm like, "Oh, you let her keep the money, man. You are fucking, you're a good dude. You're a good dude." Fucking.
The
So, yeah.
Cybertruck makes my brain short circuit. It's so ugly.
I mean, and it's massive.
It's so massive. It's so dumb. This is perhaps a mean I was like working on this joke where I was like, oh, I know a couple that lost their house in the Palisades fire, but the silver lining is they also lost their Cybertruck.
Here's my theory with the Palisades. You know how the amount of fucking Teslas that probably burnt down? You know how long battery fires go
12
for?
hours.
Exactly.
Yep.
I bet that fire was 3 times
As
more
bad as
potent
it-
as
oh,
it
yeah.
should have been because all your fucking
So many
Teslas.
Teslas. That's right. That's so true.
But yeah, no. The other thing is all of the car makers are rolling back their electric initiative because they're not going to meet. They're like, no one wants it.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone.
We don't have the infrastructure to support it. It's
They're
so
all doing
stupid.
they're all doing hybrids.
Even just with the evacuations, can you imagine if the evacuation for the fires was
Get in the
worse?
Cybertruck. I'll drive us to safety as long as it's within 20 miles.
Right, exactly. And then you can't charge it. And if there's a line at the charger, forget it. You're going to die.
My buddy was the one who works for Car and Driver had the what's the pickup?
The F-150?
No,
Lightning?
it's its own brand.
Oh, the Rivian.
Yes, they gave him a Rivian. So he took it to. He has a Cayman GT4 that he tracks. So he used the Rivian to tow to Willow Springs, and he was like, I barely made it there. So I almost out of juice. And he was like, there was one power station like 10 miles north, but it said they were all, and I guess Rivian takes a different one than the Tesla. I can't remember, but he's
the
like,
Tesla charger
he was
is
like, they
separate.
were all broken. It said on the app, but he was like, I win anyway.
Well,
I was
crackheads will rip the
he
copper
was
out
like,
of those
"That
chargers.
Makes sense. Because he was like, I got no other, and he was like, thank God one was working. And because he's like, if it wasn't, I'm just there.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't have the infrastructure for it. And now, in light of everything that's happened with Elon and the Nazi salute and all of that stuff. So I just saw a thing today.
How you can do a Nazi salute on national TV and it's fine now? We're just okay with this?
We're not okay with it. Who's okay with it?
I mean, like, he's still running a company. Like, he still showed up to work Monday and everything was fine. He's still a billionaire. Like, no one...
He's on track to be the first trillionaire.
Fucking, it's unfortunate.
Ooh, but I did see today that a bunch of Tesla owners were surveyed and 30% of them said they're going to try to get rid of it. And it's like, good luck with that market if 30% of you are trying to sell them all at the same time.
Yeah. He's like I don't know why anyone's... He's like...
It was a Nazi salute, was it not?
He's a villain origin story. His dad is a piece of shit racist, pro-apartheid, like pro-segregation South African. His mom's a fucking vain twat supermodel.
I saw her say something really
she's
dumb
out of...
recently.
I mean, she is like...
Totally out of her fucking mind.
No brain.
Yeah.
Just fucking...
She's like that, not Curb. What's the other show where the woman was saying, what's a banana, like $10?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't... But yeah, I mean, it's like she's that. Exactly. So that was who birthed him and raised him,
Yep.
was a proud racist and a vain, vain woman. Yeah. And I say that as a vain woman. Yeah, and like it's like the most villain origin story ever.
It's so true. And all the people that are like, well, he's an engineer, he's this, he's that. And it's like, no, he bought Tesla.
I mean, he was, like, have you seen the 90s video? Because when he sold PayPal and bought, he was one of the first guys to take delivery of the McLaren F1.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
So the CNN like interviewed him and he's got fucking no hair.
Mm-hmm. I've seen the pictures of him with no
teeth.
hair. Yeah.
So that was like the CNN interview, like him talking about the McLaren that he just picked up. It was just like money will do a lot.
Money will do a lot. And you just notice people lose their minds because like the hedonic adaptation takes over and then they just create problems that are not problems and that are not relatable. Like the whole, I'm trying to get to Mars thing. Like,
yeah. Oh, it's just like,
we don't care about getting to Mars. We care about paying rent.
Yeah. Half my friends from Seattle, like were aeronautics majors and they all ended up working for Blue Origin and they all like left.
Yeah.
But like, it's just literally a space race stick measuring contest.
Yep.
Like, are you kidding?
Meanwhile, the rest of us are like, can we get some healthcare, please?
Yeah, I might not make rent.
Yeah.
What is happening?
I don't know what to do about that. Do you have a plan B if like shit goes sideways?
Walking into the woods, man. No one's ever going to see me again. A gun and a single bullet. Find my car parked at the edge of the woods. Keys in it.
I don't blame you. I don't know what I would do. I don't want to be around for it if the robots take over.
No.
I want to be out. Wave one.
Yeah, like if it was going to be like they do everything for me and like I don't have to like society doesn't have to pay for stuff anymore. I'm like, all right, I can just exist.
But that's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
It's going to be the opposite of that. He's trying to get Neuralink. He's trying to hold us down and implant it inside all of us and turn us into worker slaves.
It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. I've watched animes on this. It's not good.
Wouldn't take you for an anime guy.
Oh, OG. Been watching them since the 90s.
I don't know anything about it. Sailor Moon? That's
Netflix is ruining anime. Better than that. Now it's all computer made. There's no artists behind it. But
devastating.
You know. What else? We talked about cars and nails and anime.
I got a good one for you. What are your red flags in dating?
So many. Small dog.
Stop it.
It is. It absolutely is.
Why?
Because it is. You're not. And so I just got into this with my sister, and I'm going to say this, and it's going to be in a tip, but this is what I said. Small dogs breed weak women. Big dogs breed strong women. And I
resent that. As a woman who can now do 4 pull-ups.
Sure, but here's the thing. Like, you got a big dog. Like, you have to take it out. Like, it requires, small dogs it is a different type of person that wants that.
Fine.
Big dogs will act like they don't need, I mean, they need you, but they don't need you like a small dog does. The women who get small dogs, whether you admit it or not, you love hearing the scratch at the door when you're leaving. You love the whining. You love, yes, it is. Look at you. You're fucking laughing. You love that. You love the whine. Like, you love that you have to, he can't get on the bed without you. He can't get down without you. You just admitted you start your mornings off being his lift elevator up and down, and it's your favorite part of the day. So that's a big red flag. Don't
you just want to be held like a small dog at some point in your life, though?
Sure, but I am a old big dog. Like, I am like, that's the analogy I was like.
You're
like,
a black cat.
If dating me, sure, but dating me is like if you got the old dog from the pound. Like, I'm going to be on my bed. You're going to have to be like, hey, if you want affect, you got to be like, hey, come here. And I'm like, I'll go over there and give affection or pet, and then I'll go back. But yeah.
All right. Other red flags besides one that totally offended me deeply.
Sure. One thing I do look like, how old are your friends? Like, I always look like, especially in this town, like, she's my best friend. Meet her last week. How long have you known her? 9 days. So it's like, if you have like a big group of friends that you've had for a long time, or you're still like your childhood friends, stuff like that. I look for that.
That's a really good one because that shows that someone can sustain relationships.
I was raised by women. Like, it like my sister doesn't have. I mean, I love her to death. She's hilarious, but like she didn't have a strong social group.
But she travels a lot, yeah.
No, she didn't leave anywhere now. She's up in Washington, not leaving her place. But I mean, she did her find myself quest in her 20s, like you all do. Like it's some kind of religious passage. But yeah, that's one. Just general like thing. Like I just look for. You have to be independent. Like the girl I'm kind of seeing, she said something hilarious. It was like talking about things. She's like, why would I want to have anything in common? Or like, why would I want to like the things you like? Like, I like my things. I go do my things. You like your things. You go do your things. We come back. I was like, exactly. Yes.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah. Like, I don't have to pretend to watch your stupid shows. You don't have to pretend to watch sports.
Yeah.
Like, if you're into it, great. But like,
you don't want to share hobbies at all? Do you look for someone to have like similar taste in music or?
Sure. I mean, that would be nice. But like, my taste is so band old, like oriented and like.
Is it?
Yeah.
You just like oldies.
Yeah. I mean, I like if I'm paying money to see me, like there's going to be an instrument. There's going to be, so like, but,
what's the last good concert you went to? I know this is like a tangent, but.
This would shock me from 3 years ago, but
Okay.
I've got my best friend is like, if you get into the Grateful Dead because you've listened to everything, and Fish because you've listened, and he's one of those guys who has listened to everything. His torrents and like his terabytes of music. And Ty's listened to everything. He's also my drugs been jolly. But I was in Seattle and Ty ended up being in. He's like, Fish isn't down. You want to go? And I'm like,
that is shocking.
and he's like, I got like 2 tickets, but I'll sell the other one. You get tickets. We'll sit that together. I was like, all right, they're cheap enough. I was like, are we going to do like the Fish drugs? And he's like, of course we're going to do the Fish drugs. Okay, so like, I'm not doing fucking a jam band without. So we took a shit ton of acid, and I got a video I'll show you afterwards. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. I mean, there were like weird hippie families with their kids, and I was like, what are you doing? But typically he's like, there's an intermission, and then like the second half becomes like the light guys thing. Their rig has got his million. I mean, Ty was like, bring sunglasses. And I was like, thank God I brought sunglasses. But he's like, there's an intermission. He's like, it's going to be great. You never want to go to a concert that doesn't have an intermission again, because we're going to go outside. We're going to buy a sandwich from an old lady. We're going to have some cigarettes that we're both jonesing for because we're on acid. And so I was like, so intermission hit. And I was like, oh God, my God, I want a cigarette and a sandwich from an old lady. And it was at, I think they call it Climate Pledge Arena now. God, what a name. But it used to be Key Arena, which is where the Sonics played in Seattle. But they had all the old ushers working the doors. And like, if you leave, you can't come back in. I was like, fuck. So everyone's on acid. We can't go outside. So everyone's just doing loops around, passing people crying in the corner. Like, it was just bizarre. But it was fun. And then everyone goes afterwards, like, they take over the town, like the fans. So it's like they take over. There's after parties at bars. And Ty's like, I'm going to 3. Because he went both days, because they do like a whole, but he's like, we'll only do 1. This because I was like, 3, what are you doing? What's tomorrow? You're doing 3? He's like, yeah, it's ending sitting in the basement of an old morgue. I was like, what? Well, he's like, it's a flower shop now, but it used to be a morgue. I'm like, well, huh? So the first bar we went to, like, there's like a knockoff Fish band playing, and lines are insane just to get beer. And I was like, Jesus Christ. So I got beer, and I was like, slam these, I'm tired. And then like half of Fish shows up to the bar and is just hanging out with everybody.
That's so fun.
Yeah. So that's just, so it was fun. It was fun. But I saw Tom Petty and Steve Winwood at the Gorge. That was cool. Radiohead was they were great live. But yeah.
Back to red flags. Did we miss any?
I mean, there's a lot. I can't think, like, too much makeup, heels on a first date. I'm like,
really?
Yeah.
But what does that depend on where you're going?
Or like
You're not taking people to heel
no,
places on
I'm
a first
not.
date?
No, like that's the other thing. Like I'm not a cheap date, but like I'll pay. I'm not feeding a stranger. Like, I don't know you. Like I
I don't want to go to dinner with a stranger.
Totally not. Like, it's just going to be awkward. Like,
it's way too much of a commitment.
And women complain, like, come up with something more creative. And like, no, show me that you're interesting and can hold a conversation. I know I can, and I'm going to prove it. I need to see that you can.
Yeah.
So like my day, it is like, we're going to go, would love to just go to the dives I want to go to, but I'm not going to do that. So I'll find a bar that has some kind of ambiance, but where we can still talk and suss it out. And then if it's great, then we'll go to dinner and we'll do all that stuff. But like, I have a test to pass for you. You have a test to pass too. Let's see if we pass each other's tests.
That's fair. I like to keep it to 60 minutes for a first date and no more than that.
Yeah.
I want to know that I have an out.
Sure.
And usually that out can be at the end of one drink or one coffee.
Mm-hmm.
But I know there's definitely a collective of women that are like, nah, he's cheap, he's this, that. And it's like, I don't have an expectation for someone to spend money on me before they know me. Like, if we're getting a drink or if we're getting coffee, you better fucking be paying for that or you will never see me again.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't need it to be a full-on dinner because I don't want to be stuck sitting across the dinner table from someone that I am not clicking with at all. And you don't know when you're meeting online.
Yeah. So it's that for me. And it's the idea that you just have the expectation that you're wine and dine me and take me out. Like,
right. It's a different type of person.
Yeah, totally. So I know immediately that's who you are. Fine. There's enough Armenians in this town. You're set. Fucking.
You're not wrong.
No, thank you, lady.
Yeah.
So it's essentially like I'll do things where like if she gets mad at the idea, like I know immediately. Like if don't want to do like some cool bar with music or you're not down with a dive that is cool. Like all right, like I know, but yeah. But that being said, like at the end of the day, it's just self-awareness. Like also like if you're funny, like which is I think rare for men and women, but like as long as you're self-effacing and self-aware, like if you're basic, but you know you're basic, and I can call shit out. Like this girl I was dating was telling a story, and she was like, and then we went to Coachella. Shut up. And it's like she knew me. Like I was like, all right, you got it. Yeah. Like she knew I was gonna. It was like, yeah.
That means she got a good read on you too.
But yeah, like as long as you are like unapologetically you, but also know who you are, and like if you're like going to make fun of the stupid shit that you'd like, and you know that it's dumb, okay, there we go. That's fine.
Yeah, and then it means you don't take yourself too seriously.
Exactly. And there's a lot of people who take themselves way too seriously.
For sure. I want to hear your answer on this because I feel like the debate of sense of humor is kind of different.
Mm-hmm.
Like for a woman, when she says she likes a man with a sense of humor, she literally wants him to be funny. But I've heard that when a man says he likes a sense of humor, that means he wants her to think he's funny.
No. So this is, again, the girls who are friends of mine that tell me these horror stories where I'm just like, Jesus, like they offer to pay and the guy gets offended. I always go like, I love a girl who's like, no, I can pay. I go, I got it. And then you get one more. If you go, I'll pay. And I go, all right, that's fine. Mm-hmm. Like I'm going to do it. But if you keep insisting, I'm not going to be offended.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, all right.
It would be a silly thing to get offended about.
It's wild. And the amount of times I hear like guys get offended, I'm like, what? I don't care if you make more than me. I would be really worried if you didn't. But no, sense of humor, I want you to be funny. Please make me laugh. Like, I mean, I guess I would, if I don't want laughs handed to me. I want to earn them. And if I'm not earning them, I'm going to for sure go through some kind of identity crisis and probably some kind of manic breakdown. But that's on me. And I'm going to work through that darkness.
That's what the pills are for.
Yeah. But yeah. Like there's a girl I was I'm dating it, whatever it is. She makes me laugh because she's just doing things. She's like, I was like, she works in beauty. So I'm like, God, traveling with you would be a nightmare. How many bags? She's like, well, this is going to surprise you, but I'm a great packer. One suitcase, typically carry on. I was like, wow, you're a light packer? She's like, well, yes, but it's typically like I pack and I'm like, oh, I forgot my shoes. That's why it's been so. I was like, oh yeah. But yeah, things like that, like humor is huge. Like I actually want you to be funny.
Well, that's nice to hear because it's definitely been a thing where I hear different takes on it. And I think my take on it is probably a little bit different where I'm more concerned that a guy finds me funny than I am. I feel like I have such a wealth of funny people in my life
Sure.
that I don't necessarily need like a jokester guy. Plus, I can't stand boisterous personalities.
Yeah, I don't date comics.
Yeah, I mean, same. I have, but I won't again. But I think that it's more important for me to be with someone that thinks what I'm saying is funny and finds the same things funny.
Yeah.
Versus that he's like trying to crack me up all the time.
For sure. You have to be funny in who you are, just
Yeah.
naturally.
It becomes an ick when someone's trying to.
100%. But the other thing, like, I'll look for, like, is laugh. Like, laughs are huge for me. Like, how you laugh, just because that's how I gauge how I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like, and it's truly the only thing I bring. Like, all of my value in a relationship is just by making you laugh, or because everything is a joke to me. Everything is stupid and meaningless. So it's like, and it's just how I've always read. Because I've always said, like, I was raised by women. The only way I would get out of trouble is if I got them to laugh. I knew immediately, you can't be mad at me anymore. You just laugh. You can't be. Like, you have no credibility anymore. So it's always been that. Like, it's also like, it's a great equalizer for, I think, women. If a guy can really bat out of his league, if he can make her laugh. There's some guy, some guru, not dating guru, but he's like a finance guru. Like, but he's on he's got like multiple podcasts now, and he's hyper intelligent. He's like a professor at NYU, but I've been following. He had this great line. He's like, I've always said,
Scott Galloway.
Yes, I like him a lot.
I like him a lot.
But
too.
he had this line, and it was great. He's like, I've always said, if you can make a girl laugh, you can.
I know what quote you're talking about. Hold on.
He was like, she's laughing, she's naked.
Yeah.
He's like, if you can make a girl laugh, you can see her naked. But, and it is, yeah, it's like, and you know that, and you talk to girls, it's like, yeah, it is a great, like, it's attractive. And I think it's attractive on both. Like, I genuinely find it very attractive.
It's a sign of intelligence, too.
100%.
I want to stay on this.
She like, what did this one? She said something else. We were grabbing drinks. She was like, we're talking about gin martini versus vodka martini. And she's like, she likes gin, but she's like, no, it's a vodka martini for me. She's like, gin's like haunted vodka. And I was like, that's fucking weirdly perfect. I was like, it's haunted vodka. She's like, yeah, gin's like haunted vodka. And I was
love that. That's brilliant too. Even with stuff like that, I feel like there's things you hear just in like day to day, even if you see it somewhere and it's like a funny joke and you have the good sense to recognize it and repeat it, I still give credit for that too, even if it's not an original.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because it's also like, okay, you got good taste.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's in the lexicon.
But yeah, I mean, my flags have always kind of remained the same.
But that's good. That means you know what's working for you and what's not.
It's not working. But they stay there.
But it will. What's your idea of healthy masculinity?
I don't know, anyone who's like, if you get like like if you constantly think your manhood's being called into question, like the girl offers to buy the drinks or anything like that, I'm like, dude, you're pathetic. If the idea, like, protecting because you think you need to protect, and it's like, protect because you are stronger and this person is weaker, whether it's a woman or a child or a dog or whatever it is. But yeah, I mean, healthy masculinity to me is just like, I don't know, like guys watch, like I watch sports because for 3 hours, there's rules. Everything makes sense. Life is chaos. It's meaningless. There's nothing. But for 3 hours, I'm watching something progress to an inline that I know, but like understand that sports are stupid. But yeah, I don't know. Like I'm such a weird hodgepodge of, like I get called, I'm the straight gay friend.
You really are.
But like,
I've always said you're like a sassy lady.
Yeah.
In a good way.
I don't know. Like I know what size clothes I wear, and I can change like my oil, like in my spark plugs. Sure. And
I can too, but
and rotate my tires. But yeah, but I also like know what looks good. Like the amount of times you see a guy like, and you're just like, what possessed you to wear any of this?
Well, we stopped talking about metrosexuals.
What size do you think you are?
Yeah.
But it's also like,
but we need metrosexuals.
Sure, but I mean, it's with women too. I see it where I'm like, I don't know what size you think you are, babe, but it is not that. Tell you what.
Women wear baggy stuff because it's trendy.
Don't even get me started. The amount of 27-year-olds wearing their grandfather's clothes. I'm like, you know who's going to be fucking pissed at you? 50-year-old you is going to be furious with 27-year-old you when you don't have the body anymore and you wish you did and you were pissed that you didn't enjoy it and show it off or whatever it is. Like, look, more power to you. Like, if you're comfortable in whatever, wear whatever you want, but like, you're not going to be pretty forever, and it's going to go. And when it goes, you're going to be pissed.
It's a currency.
Sure. I mean, like, enjoy, like, fucking make hay while the sun's shining, hun. What are you doing?
I get that.
I was like, with the free the nip thing, I was like, absolutely. This is fantastic.
Sure.
Are we kidding me?
No to
sure. But I was just like, it was also like, all right, you got to learn how to like not fucking look constantly. And that took a bit. But like after the first year, I was like, all right, I got it. I remember when Lululemons came out. Yeah. They were from Vancouver. I went to college in Seattle. We were the first campus to get them. So I wasn't in the Greek system, but you better fucking believe I rerouted my entire walk into school to go through the Greek system because goddamn. I was like, do they know what they understand? I was like, did everyone do drugs and not understand that I was like, this is wild. Yeah, it was a big day.
That was a big era. I totally participated
2008.
In that. Yep.
Fucking
leggings. I mean, I'm wearing them now, but I wore leggings as pants for most of college.
Yeah. I mean, you and
every other bitch.
Yeah.
It was a good time. Good time to be alive.
But what were we talking about?
Healthy masculinity, but I think you summed it up.
Yeah. I mean, Galloway had a good, and I can't remember what it was, but he had a great line on it. And I was like, yes, that. But yeah, any James Fry.
Mm-hmm.
So our friend who's like fucking 7 feet tall, but he would always complain that like, it's not fun being this tall, this big, because guys at bars will fight me. They just want to fight me. And he's like a gentle giant. And I was like, no, it's not true. And then we were on the road in Davis, California. And then fucking 2 cholos came up immediately as soon as we walked in. And just wasn't high, wasn't like, it was just fucking, we're throwing hands immediately. I was like,
so strange.
Fuck. But I'm like, yeah, that's masculine. That's like, yeah, you're pathetic. You have compensation issues up and down. But yeah, I mean, it's, guys who have a nice car strictly to talk to women or whatever. It's like, all right, dude.
The posturing.
Yeah.
It's so odd.
Try to get laid being unemployed. That's where that shows a true man.
I love that. That might be a good place to wrap it up.
There we go. We did it. Monty's tired.
Justin Clark, where can people find you?
Justin H. Clark on pretty much everything. Never did the TikTok. Just I fucking now we're done. Now we're done. Justin H. Clark. Yeah, on everything. I think Facebook it's Justin Clark. But why would you find me on Facebook?
Don't find you on Facebook.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for doing the show.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you everybody for listening. Bye.